Okay, letter 24. Here we go. My dear Wormwood, I have been in correspondence with Slum Trimpet, who is in charge of your patient's young woman, and begin to see the chink in her armor. It is an unobtrusive little vice which she shares with nearly all women who have grown up in an intelligent circle united by a clearly defined belief. And it consists in a quite untroubled assumption that the outsiders who do not share this belief are really too stupid and ridiculous. The males who habitually meet these outsiders do not feel that way. Their confidence, if they are confident, is of a different kind. Hers, which she supposes to be due to faith, is in reality largely due to the mere color she has taken from her surroundings. It is not, in fact, very different from the conviction she would have felt at the age of 10 that the kind of fish knives used in her father's house were the proper or normal or real kind, while those in the neighboring families were not real fish knives at all. So what he's saying is the girl that our patient is dating believes that people who aren't Christians, who have different beliefs, are too foolish or stupid to understand. And it's a thing where the way my family does things is correct, but the way other families do things is incorrect. So this whole fish knives is that my dad has the right things, but any other family has the wrong things. So it's like this pride in comparison, kind of. Now, the element of ignorance and naivety in all this is so large, and the element of spiritual pride so small, that it gives us little hope of the girl herself. But have you thought of how it can be made to influence your own patient? It is always the novice who exaggerates. The man who has risen in society is over-refined. The young scholar is pedantic. In this new circle, your patient is a novice. He is there daily, meeting Christian life of a quality he never before imagined, and seeing it all through an enchanted glass, because he is in love. He is anxious. Indeed, the enemy commands him to imitate this quality. Can you get him to imitate this defect in his mistress, and to exaggerate it until what is venial in her becomes in him the strongest, most beautiful of the vices, spiritual pride? The conditions seem ideally favorable. The new circle in which he finds himself is one of which he is tempted to be proud for many reasons other than its Christianity. It is better educated, more intelligent, more agreeable society than any he has yet to encounter. He is also under some degree of illusion as to his own place in it. Under the influence of love, he may still think himself worthy of the girl, but he is rapidly ceasing to think himself unworthy of the others. He has no notion how much in him is forgiven because they are charitable and made the best of because he is now one of the family. He does not dream how much of his conversation, how many of his opinions are recognized by them as all mere echoes of their own. Still less does he suspect how much of the delight he takes in these people is due to the erotic enhancement which the girl, for him, spreads over their surroundings. He thinks that he likes their talk and way of life because of some congruity between their spiritual state and his, when in fact they are so far beyond him that if he were not in love, he would be merely puzzled and repelled by much which he now accepts. He is like a dog which should imagine it understood firearms because its hunting instinct and love for its master enable it to enjoy a day's shooting. So he's comparing the patient in his position in this group that he's in to a dog, a hunting dog. So he's saying, like, he knows as much about what's going on in this group as a hunting dog would be able to shoot a gun just because it goes hunting with its master, right? Like, the dogs go and chase the animals for them to be hunted, and they don't actually do the shooting or anything like that. But that's what he's comparing our patient to. Here's your chance. While the enemy, by means of sexual love and some very agreeable people far advanced in his service, is drawing the young barbarian up to levels he could never otherwise have reached, you must make him feel that he is finding his own level, that these people are his sort, and that coming among them, he has come home. When he turns from them to other society, he will find it dull, partly because almost any society within his reach is, in fact, much less entertaining, but still more because he will miss the enhancement of the young woman. You must teach him to mistake this contrast between the circle that delights and the circle that bores him for the contrast between Christians and unbelievers. He must be made to feel he'd better not put it into words how different we Christians are. And by we Christians, he must really but unknowingly mean my set. And by my set, he must mean not the people who in their charity and humility have accepted me, but the people with whom I associate by right. So we are pulling him out of the church as a whole and putting him in this little group of people who are going to be his people because he associates with them. And that his association with those people makes him better than other people, whether they're Christians or not. So you've got this pride element continuing to brew. Success here depends on confusing him. If you try to make him explicitly and professedly profound of being a Christian, you will probably fail. The enemy's warnings are too well known. If, on the other hand, you let the idea of we Christians drop out altogether and merely make him complacent about his set, you will produce not true spiritual pride, but mere social vanity, which, by comparison, is trumpery, a puny little sin. What you want is to keep a sly self-congratulation mixing with all his thoughts and never allow him to raise the question, what precisely am I congratulating myself about? The idea of belonging to an inner ring, of being in a secret, is very sweet to him. Play on that nerve. Teach him, using the influence of this girl when she is silliest, to adapt an air of amusement at the things unbelievers say. Some theories which he may meet in modern Christian circles may here prove helpful. Theories, I mean, that place the hope of society in some inner ring of clerks, some trained minorities of theocrats. It is no affair of yours whether those theories are true or false. The great thing is to make Christianity a mystery religion in which he feels himself one of the initiates. He's an initiate, means he's initiated into Christianity. Pray, do not fill your letters with rubbish about this European war. The final issue is, no doubt, important, but that is a matter for the high command. I am not in the least interested. Got a notification. I'm not in the least interested in knowing how many people in England have been killed by bombs. In that state of mind they died. I can learn that from the office at this end. That they are going to die sometime I already knew. Please keep your mind on your work. Your affectionate uncle, Screwtape.